Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we have the Lincoln on Saturday, the first big flat race of the season. Obviously we're moving into the flat season now, and I've had a look at this year's runners, and I think I like two at big prices. I initially tweeted earlier that I fancied three. The one I've taken out is What's the Story? What's my story? Let's just have a quick look. What's the Story? I thought his effort last year when he was second to top rank was a good effort. Looking back on it, the form wasn't that strong. Top rank didn't particularly do very much after that, and nor did the horses just behind What's the Story. I think he ran on through beaten horses against horses that weren't really that progressive. So I've taken him out of my calculations, and I'm left with two. The first horse, interestingly, they both actually ran last year. I think both of them have angles to go better this year. The first one is the third placed Hortzadar, who was running off a mark of 97 last year. Sean Kiran took 5 off, so he was effectively running off 92. But he's down to a mark of 90 this year, and the fact he stayed on so well, you can see he went 1.66 in the run. You would imagine they've had this as the plan since. They did go back to Doncaster over 7 furlongs, which didn't prove to be far enough. And I just think that this has been the plan for a long time. He has got some relatively recent, decent-ish form. You know, he was second at Redcar 3 runs ago. So it's not like he's been finishing last and looks completely gone at the game. Yeah, I think he can run a decent race on Saturday. And the fact that he's 40-1, I thought that was a huge price for a horse that you'd imagine has been targeted back at this race, off a lower mark. Cam Hardy takes over from Sean Kiran. He's not a positive jockey booking, but he's not a negative jockey booking. He's not a negative jockey switch, so to speak. I think he can run a decent race here, Hortzadar. And I think this has been the plan probably since he was third last year. The second horse is actually a bigger price, and I'm probably more confident of this one than Hortzadar. And that horse is Scottish Summit. Now, Scottish Summit, I actually liked for this race last year, and he finished 10th. And on the day, it looked like a disappointing run. And it was a disappointing run. But if you go back and watch that race again, look where the winner has come from. Look where second has come from. Look where third has come from. Most of them have come from off the pace, whereas those who were near the front, including River Nymph, Eastern World, Kinram was up there, Graphite was up there, Dashing Roger was up there. They've all faded and dropped out, including the hot favourite, the 5-2 favourite, Eastern World. Scottish Summit was also too prominent, and yet he's ran okay for a longish. He ran okay for a reasonable amount of the way before fading out of it, and those picking up came past. He's been back to Doncaster twice since then. He finished third over 7 furlongs, 213 yards, which is fine. And then last time, over the mile trip, he finished second. Now, he was given a completely different ride when he finished second. He was dropped out. He was actually dropped out as well when he finished 6th in this all-weather Lincoln trial back in 2021. And when he was dropped out, he came through so strongly, especially at Doncaster. Came through, looked like he was going to win. You can see he shortened by a whopping... Let's just have a look. Shortened down to 1.13 in the run. He was beaten by Top Rated, which is always a good thing. RTR2 was third. Again, that's always a good thing. And that winner, Royal Fleet, has since finished second in a Group 2, and won a Group 3 out in Meydan. I think it's all about the ride that Scottish Summit needs to be given. He needs to be given a help up. They need to hold him up and come through late. Don't go as prominent as Sam Jones had him last year. This year, PJ McDonald's going to ride. And we can see that when he finished second late last year, when he was second behind Royal Fleet, Kevin Stott rode him at Doncaster. And you can see that Kevin's a bit better than Sam at the course. But you can see that PJ is much better. He's got a much better strike rate. and he's also got a good P&L. And you can see this graph is steadily going up, suggesting it's not just the one-off big winner that PJ does. He's very consistent here. He's got a nice, steady increasing graph. So I'm really happy with that jockey booking. He has had a pipe opener back in that trial where he finished 7th this year. He didn't really go with much. It never looked like he was going to win the race, but he's run okay. I think back at Doncaster, they'll know how to ride him. They've got to drop him at the back and come through late. And I think he's a massive price at 50 to 1. I like Hortzadar. I think the angle of, he's been here, he's finished 3rd, he's lower in the weights. This has probably been the target for a little while. The Scottish Summit, I think there was plenty. If he's dropped out, which I'll be disappointed if PJ goes forward or is anywhere near the pace. If he drops Scottish Summit out, I'd be very, very confident of a decent run from Scottish Summit. And at 50 to 1, I think is a great bet. If you can get these 6-7 places, I think that's a really good bet at 50 to 1. So there's my 2 for the Lincoln. Both ran last year. Hortzadar down £7 on official ratings, but obviously just the 2 because Sean was claiming 5. And Scottish Summit, who's actually down £2 as well from his run last year, despite, the conditions were that the race setup was all against Scottish Summit. He went prominent. He shouldn't have done. I think they put PJ on this year knowing that PJ will give him a better ride. Good luck if you follow either of those 2 or both of those 2. Let's hope we can kick off the flat season with a big price winner.